That was apparently, well, I was looking for some Shrek like sound drops and then Bonnie Tyler holding out for a hero. Huh. How 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 old is that, do you know?
Oh, I do not know. How old is Holding Out for a Hero? Is that the
Bonnie
name of it?
Tyler holding out for a hero. There's a scene in Shrek where they're rescuing Fiona and Shrek and Donkey are running through the castle and they play this epic montage of Shrek and Donkey getting up to the top of the castle and the I Need a Hero starts where it's like Shrek in his, and we'll play it again, Shrek in his shining armor.
No, the
But
original
yeah.
movie that was in, as I looked it up, because I forgot all about this. This was in Footloose. Did you ever
Oh,
watch
is it really?
Footloose?
I think I have, but it's been a long time.
It was a good movie. It's a great soundtrack. It really was, and they were all new songs. They
You're the
were,
movie buff, Greg. You know a lot of good nuggets about movies because you pay attention, like remember stuff.
yeah. No, this was, Footloose soundtrack was a really good soundtrack. And like I said, it
I
was
don't.
all new songs. Like, you watch an Adam Sandler movie and he's
Oh
got
yeah.
great music in it. Or what was it? The Marvel one with um,
Oh, which one?
where he's got the tape player from his mom. What it was I want to say Chris? No, is that it?
I'm drawing a
Uh,
blank.
um.
Usually I
Anyway,
can help.
that's a
Yeah.
really good soundtrack in that movie, but it's all '80s music.
Oh, you're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy, yes.
Oh yeah,
And,
that soundtrack was great.
but that's all music that was '80s music, and this Footloose was its own. I don't think there was not an original song on it, and I think pretty much every song on it was good. So
Well, that's what you want. Every song being good, right?
yeah,
Today, we'll wait around here a bit so
or
far.
an
Waiting
Adam
for the
Sandler movie.
yeah.
Adam Sandler movies always have good.
You know,
Always
Happy
have good
Gilmore 2 just
soundtracks.
came out.
It's
You gonna see it,
terrible.
Greg?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
is it?
saw it. It's
That's on
it's
Netflix, wasn't it?
it's on Netflix. Yeah, it's the first half hour is not bad, and then
Yeah.
it just goes weird.
It's just like random messing around because didn't they cast a whole bunch of actual golfers in it?
They did. Actually, the golfers weren't that bad of actors, so they
Oh,
were
really?
okay.
Oh, wow.
So you know how you usually get an actor, an athlete that they try and act, and they're just not good.
That's funny.
These guys were okay. So, but I just watched it the other night. I think Shell fell asleep,
Oh, wow.
and she falls asleep in the middle of movies and asks me,
What happened?
how did it end? I say everybody died.
Yeah.
Everyone died.
That's like the
So
default answer right there.
yeah,
Everyone died.
they all died. They all
Did
died. Didn't make it.
did
Nobody made it.
did
So
Drake see it?
no, I think I told him it was kind of bad.
Because he kind of likes to he whatever that one movie. Remember when we had when was that when you guys were over at my parents and we were all eating and they said they were trying to go see a movie but they couldn't get into it so they snuck in for the last 20 minutes and remember how he was raving over how the last 20 minutes was of it.
Yeah, I don't remember the movie.
I don't
I
remember
don't
the
know
name
if
of
he
the
ever
movie.
saw the movie though,
No, I
because
don't
he
think he
wanted to
did.
go see the movie, and I don't know if he ever saw it.
That's funny. I you, I'll have to text him and ask him if Drake or Miles had seen it.
Yeah, no, there's movies I've walked out of two movies in my life.
Oh, really?
So yeah, yeah, they were. I don't know even know why I saw it, just other than the fact that it was probably Olivia Newton-John was in it. Back in the '80s, it was Xanadu. It was really
Xanadu.
bad.
Huh.
Xanadu, yeah, it was
They
really
just walked
bad.
out.
Yeah, we just got up and walked out. And then what was the other name? Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona.
Raising
I think I've heard
Arizona
of that
had
one. Yeah.
Nicolas Cage in it, and
Oh,
it was just bad. I mean, I'm sitting there with some friends, and we just looked at each other and went, "This really is bad." We just got up and walked out. So some people love that movie, and I just said, "No, I don't like it."
Raising Arizona. Oh goodness,
Raising
I've
Arizona, yeah, it was.
never seen that.
This is
Huh?
probably about 1987. So,
What's it?
and
I mean, Cage has been in like everything, hasn't he?
yeah, he has. And then there's other movies I've put on and you know, with Netflix or with Amazon Prime. There's a few movies that I've put on that you know, I watch them for 15 minutes and go, if you can't get me in 15 minutes, you're done, and then I
Well,
shut them off.
this is good to know. It's this content. Can you captivate and capture Greg within the first 15 minutes of a movie?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good barometer there. I don't think we ever walked out of a movie when our family went to go see movies. Maybe once, but I can't remember. Last time we went to see a movie. Oh shoot, what did we see? We saw The Last Rodeo. I took Hannah to see that in theaters. It was with Neil Donahue, or is it Donahue? Right? What's his last name?
I don't know.
Check. There he is, Mosuri.
Missouri, check.
There we go.
Mosuri.
He's on.
Yeah. What was the name of the movie?
The Last Rodeo. It's with like Neil Donahue. It's
I don't even know who that is. The Last Rodeo.
If you saw the guy, you would know exactly who it was. Yeah. Okay. Neil McDonough. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As soon
okay.
as you see him, as you see the guy, he's
Neil McDonough.
he's a very recognizable face. He's been
he's
in
a
kind of
he's a believer
faith-based movies.
as well. I believe he's a believer.
I think he is too. He was on Mike Rowe, and he was saying some, let's say, interesting podcasts. But no, the Last Rodeo, that was a good movie. Like that's the last time I really ever been to a theater in a while.
And Christopher McDonald's in it.
Yeah, because I've been too busy cutting grass.
Yeah, Christopher McDonald's in it too, though. And you know who Christopher McDonald is?
No.
Shooter McGavin.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Last Rodeo, Christopher McDonald.
Yeah, Neil McDonough's. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. What was the last movie we saw? I don't recall. I know Top Gun 2 I thought was pretty good.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And see, I don't go to many movies, but it just kind of depends. It's gotta impress me. But apparently they're making a new Naked Gun movie.
Naked Gun. They're making
Have you never watched the Naked Gun movies?
No, Naked Gun. No, I haven't seen them. It's an American crime comedy film. Looking this up here.
It's Leslie Nielsen. Now, the Naked Gun movie actually came from a TV show called Police Squad. And if you've ever seen Airplane, I don't know if you've ever seen Airplane, the original Airplane movie.
You ever seen A Grown Man Naked?
Okay. Yeah. Great movie. But so, you know, that's Leslie Nielsen. And so they did a TV show called Police Squad. And they only did 6 episodes, but they were hilarious.
Yeah.
But people didn't get it. And so what happened was they took it, they decided to make the Naked Gun movies on it, and the Naked Gun movies did really well. But Police Squad was just, I mean, I was in college when it came out. We'd stop studying and flip it on and watch it, and then all of a sudden, you know, 6 weeks later, it was gone, and we were all disappointed. So
Mosuri's like back in the 90s. Evan wasn't hatched. Hey, I was hatched in 91. So Cameron's a little smidge older than me. It says this Naked Gun movie's coming out in 2 days with Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson, and Paul Walter Hauser. Actually, kind of looks good, and I'm checking out the preview here.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see. I hope they're gonna kind of keep the original idea behind the Naked Gun movies, because it was classic goofy comedy, and you know, he'd be standing there talking to somebody, and you know, he was interviewing the person who saw the murder or the crime, and he walks up to him and he says, cigarette, you know, like he's offering her a cigarette, but he says cigarette, and she goes, yes, I know. So
that's funny.
Yeah.
Those goofy kind of crime action comedies. Keyword goofy. Yep. Cameron says keyword goofy.
But it's like if I'll watch Airplane,
Yeah,
and
like that's goofy.
I'll find new stuff in it that I never caught originally. And I mean, this goes back to the '80s when that movie came out, and I'll watch it occasionally, and I'll see a scene that I just never saw, I never noticed before.
Like
So, and
golden
it's
nuggets
just
and stuff
something.
when you rewatch things, right? Because I mean,
Yep.
with like JD, we've been watching Toy Story over and over. I mean, lately we've been changing it up, but when you go back and watch, like even Toy Story, it's like, oh, I didn't notice that. When I watched it years ago. Now you're watching it with
Hmm.
my son, and then you notice all these references and stuff, and like what they had in there that you never would have noticed before.
Well, I've had conversation with my kids where you guys grew up with some of the best animated movies. You had Toy Story, you had
Oh yeah,
Cars, you had well, Aladdin was a little bit before that, but that was still a good one. That's one of my favorites. And let me see, How to Train Your Dragon, which
oh
is
yeah.
a phenomenal movie.
I don't.
And
I think I've seen that, but it's been a long time. How to Train a Dragon? Yeah, How to Train
How
Your
to Train
Dragon.
Your
Oh,
Dragon, they just did
Your
a live
Dragon.
version of it as well.
Oh wow.
So, and let me see what else. Cars. I'm trying to think of some of the ones. The Bug's Life.
2010 film, How to Train Your Dragon. I should watch this with my son if I would have got home earlier from mowing.
Hmm.
We couldn't have done that though, Greg, today. Well, we both slaved, didn't we?
Yeah, we. I mean, I lost about an hour and a half to the rain.
Oh, it was. You know what? Didn't you find this weird? They weren't really calling. They said they were maybe calling for storms, and then it got real dark. Like the street lights were coming on at like 2 p.m.
Oh, that's what you got. I didn't. I
It
didn't
got
see that.
dark.
All of a sudden, it just started drizzling. Like you told me, it was raining, and I said, "Well, it's just drizzling here." And 5 minutes later, it's boom, it hit.
Greg's usually my weatherman. You usually get it first and then complain to me, but this time I think we had it kind of came under then popped up though. But it was a heavy rain. They were saying in Romulus, just that's a city that's just probably half an hour from us where I live. They had flash floods. I was seeing pictures of it. They got like legit flash flooding.
Well, it didn't have anywhere to go that quickly. It was so
Oh
much
no!
so quick that they couldn't do anything. You remember a couple of years ago when guys were out riding on the 96 on their Sea-Doos?
Oh yeah!
They had their jet skis out on the and they're on there going, "You guys are stupid. This is sewage water. This couldn't handle the drains couldn't handle
Oh
it, and it
goodness!
just overflowed. Now you're running around in sewage water."
I know
And
I know Cameron over there in Missouri. They get a lot heavier rains than we do too. Like they'll either get it's really dry, Greg, or they'll get a mix of weather and they're more prone to tornadoes and stuff. I mean, praise God that the Lord's keeping Cameron and all of his accounts safe down there. They get some pretty wicked weather because aren't they on that tornado like alley strip? It's all kind of Missouri through Kansas area. It's pretty.
yeah, they can get some pretty bad tornadoes down there. So we had
Yeah.
I think a tornado come through our neighborhood. I was out of town and training for one of my new jobs, and Shell calls me up and said, "Neighbor behind us had 3 trees go down." I said, "That's a
Ooh,
tornado." That
oh
if
boy.
that happened, so he got beat up a little bit. Um, so that didn't go well for them.
There have been
Um,
some confirmed tornadoes this year for us in Michigan, but all of them haven't really been too close. I think I'm hoping that we're kind of out of like once we get into August, Greg, maybe we'll kind of be out of that chances for tornadoes. But luckily, there's no big trees around my house. There's nothing there. It's just well, there's the one tree in the front, but if anything were to fall, it's not big enough to even do any damage to the house.
yeah, yeah. So, um, I've got a lot of oak trees in our yard, so it'd take a lot to take down an oak tree, though. So,
Well, those are
and
pretty strong trees too.
yeah, it would take a lot to take down the oak trees. So, but the pine trees, those go down. A couple years ago, they were going down like grass. We had some storms come through, and I can't remember how many neighbors had their pine trees fall down. So,
Karen
uh,
says tornadoes have taken out a lot of mature trees here this year. Leaf season may be slow this fall. I would like one of those because Cameron can do leaves basically all the way. If it doesn't snow, I mean, they'll get a little bit of snow from what he said, but he can kind of trickle through leaves, Greg, all the way through the winter. I mean, I would much rather do that than plow snow. I'm really starting to dislike it more and more.
Yeah, it would be nice if we could do that, but it's also nice to, in my case, just to take a break. Like I said, I've got to see if I can find something over the winter here to pick up, like 20 hours a week or something, just to hold my time. But yeah, I think I told you I looked at a hospital and they were offering $12 an hour. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, forget that.
Leaf season all the way to spring cleanup. Well, if you're still doing
That's
leaves,
impressive,
how
isn't
do you have a spring cleanup?
Yeah, well, that's where it's got to be pretty nice because, I mean, ideally, if it never snowed here, we could still stagger leaves. Greg, man, we could stagger, like, even 1 or 2 jobs a week would keep me busy and still pretty lucrative. Yeah, that Cameron's just in that area where they don't get hammered with snow. And then, I mean, honestly, with us, the snow hasn't been too bad where we've been here, but, we've gotten a lot of ice events coming through and things like that. My big knock on the snow, Greg, and we've talked about this over and over, it's just the hours. Sure.
Yeah.
I can work 15, 20 hours straight, but have it be during the day when you get all these wonky 3 a.m. reports or 2 a.m., 1:30, X, Y, and Z, because, I mean, it's so unpredictable. So, I mean, you can't plan it. And, I work with Metro. They actually do a pretty good job planning it, even though we don't know when to go in. So,
yeah. No, that's part of the reason why I don't want to do it is because you had given me the name of some guy that I could just go salt. And I talked to the guy and he says, yeah, just so you know, if it's Christmas Day and we need salt, you're going out to salt. And I said, no, I'm not.
I said, see you later.
Yeah. And I remember a long time ago, a company I was working for, Thanksgiving Day, had I was on call that weekend. And, I'm thinking, yeah, who's, not going to get a phone call on Thanksgiving Day? What's the chances of that? Sure enough, put a piece of food on my plate and I get a phone call. And it was Canada. And it's not their Thanksgiving Day. And that was a 2 hours I was on the phone. So that didn't go over too well.
I would have been twiddling my thumbs there. I'm sure you were even probably trying to keep it pretty short, weren't you?
Well, we had a client that was looking for a shipment. And I said, I couldn't get a hold of anybody because the only phone numbers I had were the phone numbers to the U.S. Market. I didn't have anything in Canada, so I couldn't get a hold of anybody. And I'm calling and calling, trying to get a hold of nobody's answering. And I don't remember how I finally got a hold of somebody. And I just said, what's going on here? And they said it's not here. It was supposed to go to Canada, was in the U.S., and they weren't going to get it till the next day. And I had to call the client and say, look, I can't do anything. There's nothing I can do. I've been on the phone for 2 hours. And they said, well, we need it first thing in the morning. I said, well, I can't do anything until the morning. And then remember,
I'm sorry.
That was the day after Thanksgiving, so good luck getting a hold of somebody for that. So I can't remember how I finally got it arranged, but it was a nightmare. So Shell wasn't happy.
Through it. The only
I
time
got
that
through it.
Relatively we were close to the holidays this is with Metro probably 3 or 4 years ago. We did some salting and some plowing on Christmas Eve, but it was early Christmas Eve, and then that was it. And they're like, we're not going out Christmas Day. Don't worry about that. And I think we ended up going out on like the 26th for like a 12-hour. I always liked the 8 to 12-hour salt runs. Those are always nice. I mean, just sitting back, because we've talked about those salt contracts with commercial that you can get, Greg. Man, you land one of those big contracts anywhere from 20 to sometimes 40, 50 grand. These guys plan this out. I mean, I'd rather just do one account myself the whole entire year. Like, that'd be great. Just one salt account. It's tough though. There's a crafty trade on how to land a commercial account for salt and snow. And you and I could actually do it. Like, I mean, I don't have the proper truck for it, but we're personable enough. But it's that bidding war. Even over $100, that's where it'd be pretty tough. You just take the low. That's where that'd be kind of challenging.
Yeah, I met someone who, a woman who has landscape business and snow removal, and apparently one of the things she does.
Sorry.
But one of the things that she does is she's got a warehouse that she can store all her salt. So she buys salt.
That's nice.
She's buying salt now at like $45, and I don't know how they price it out, but
There was a salt shortage this past year because I was telling you that too. Like Metro couldn't get pallets of salt. They were short on some of the rock salt. I think the only salt that was available was like the calcium chloride. For whatever stupid, I mean, Greg, I think Detroit has a salt mine.
Yeah.
And for whatever stupid reason, at least for Michigan and the surrounding areas, though, it's like there was a salt shortage. I think because people were, they said that they were fear and scare buying. So these big companies, what they would do is they'd come through and they'd buy everything and sell everyone out. And then that's where the shortages were coming from.
Right. It's kind of like the toilet paper thing. So, but what this lady does is she's buying salt now, and she's got places that she can store it. And so she's buying it for $45. And then when the season comes up, she sells it for $125. So she cleans
smart.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with Metro, we were always kind of talking to them like, you guys should get a salt yard and stuff like that. But the problem is, though, I don't think they wanted just to store it there because I thought they were saying it's difficult to kind of preserve. But if you have the proper warehouse and stuff for salt, then you could store it. But one thing I hate about it, it ruined a lot of my shoes and a lot of my gloves. It destroys everything.
Yeah. So just like scraping your deck ruins your gloves, gets them all wet. I mean, how did you do today? I had to scrape my deck, and I did find out something though. The 52-inch surprisingly is much easier to scrape than a 60 or 61. And granted, you're saying okay, well, it's it's a little bit smaller, but that difference is a huge difference. I noticed.
Smaller. There's more wind and vortex going through there and suction. Oh yeah, I scraped my deck this morning. I changed the blades. I was talking to Cameron. He told me to get a click torque wrench, so I got that, and I actually torqued them to 60 foot-pound. I guess rating. That's what the Toro manual, my manual says. But then Cameron sent me a picture of some multi-force that had the click torque rating up to like 115 to 130. But I was able to, the only problem with doing it like that, Greg, is I had to hold on to the blade and have some resistance when I had the gun set the right way. And I pull back and resist, and then I heard my click torque wrench click, and that's how I got it in. But I think next time I change the blades, I'm going to just take a wrench and put it on the top of the spindle, because on top of my spindle, I think yours has one too. The top of the spindle, they have a giant nut. I'm just going to jam a wrench on there and then try to see if I can produce some leverage like that. But Cameron also said you could use a 2x4 or like a vice grip and kind of like grab part of the deck and then do it that way. But I was trying to get blades didn't fall off. So
you ever had a blade fall off?
I did 2 different times. It was the first year of the multi-force. I was using a rigid impact to put them on, and I think that might have just not have been enough power. That's probably all that it was, because I had the blades fall off twice, but it's set up. Those blade bushings are set up so when they do get loose, they're like, it's like a 6-sided, or like an octagon or hexagon, whatever it is. They're designed in such a way where they get loose, they just fall down. They don't actually hit each other, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I've had it happen 3 times. It was on the 2 of them were on the walk behind. I had no idea why they just fell off, and then the other time was when I hit one of those septic tank covers, one of those hard septic tank plastic cover. I sent you a picture of that one.
Yeah, I said, what happened?
And the blade just down, boom, fell right off. So those are the only times it's happened. But one was because I hit something. The other 2 times they just fell, and I thought it odd. So But no, I guess it didn't fly away, so that was good, and everything stayed right there, so I didn't have to go looking for
Oh yeah.
bushings or bolts or washers or anything.
I scraped my deck this morning. It was good. I was still shocked that that rain even came through, and grass is not. It was starting to slow down, but then people were irrigating nonstop. So those are all taken off like hotcakes. I had this one guy. He must be on a well, Greg. Man, the front yard was like 8 inches. I had to triple cut it, and the mower wasn't struggling. It was just discharge everywhere, and it wasn't wet because it was after the rain, and then things dried off. But I'm sitting there. I'm like, I almost wanted to tell him. I said, "Hey, buddy, you can water a little bit less for me and save money and still have it look green." Man, that front was like, you ever seen like a thick carpet, like thick basement carpet? That's how the front was.
Yeah.
And I put that puppy on 325. I brought that low. I'm sitting there shaking my head. It's like, these water bills for some of these people. Sure, you want to make your house look nice, but the water bills have to be like what, $2,000 a year?
Well, if he's on a well, it doesn't cost him anything.
No, you're right. Because doesn't the pump, like running a well pump, like it's like a little bit, right? Or isn't it something like that?
That's
like nothing.
minor.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's minor. But
Is it electric?
unless he's on a community well, then that would cost him money. But
Yeah.
if he's on his own well, that doesn't cost him anything. He's just running it.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's in that Livonia area. It's on Gill Road there in Livonia, Greg. And those they're not ranch houses. They're just nicer 2-story houses. I think some of those might have wells. I mean, do the clients that you mow, do they have wells?
I think almost all my clients are well. So, and I think I would probably say 90%, 80 to 90% are well water. So I've got a couple of in town in the village, and those would be city water. There's another place where I mow that sub where we wouldn't where we don't want to pay for.
Oh yeah.
We don't want to aerate there anymore. They pay for theirs. I think they're a community well though. I get a feeling they're a community well, so they pay for theirs. I know because some people won't really. They won't.
Really?
They don't want to they don't want to run their sprinklers because it costs them a bunch of money. So it's funny in this neighborhood. I mean, one of those houses sold for $70,000.
Hey, look, it's Ben. Hey,
Ben.
previous co-host. I don't have any
Yeah.
Ben drops or like anything here. What can I do? Something that would that Ben? Oh yeah, Ben knows this song. You know this song too. But community wells, I've never even really heard of those.
It's just one. And when I lived in Wixom, we were on a community well there, and it's just apparently a giant well that everybody shares some. Actually, they wound up switching to city water with because Ford used to be there when they had their Ford Wixom plant. They really wanted to get city water in, so Ford paid for like half the bill for Wixom, the city of Wixom, to get the city water in.
Hey, really?
Yeah, and then 10 years, 15 years later, they closed down Ford. They closed that plant.
I mean, we're on city water here, Greg, and I've ran my sprinkler a couple of times when we moved in like 5 years ago, and holy smokes, that bill was even a lot for the small amount that I did run that. I'm just sitting there. You know, the clients, like even in Farmington Hills, like near my parents, they're on city water there for that one neighborhood. I'm sitting there shaking my head. I try to convince this one client to water less, and he goes, I want it to look green. And I don't care, and I have the money. I'm like, okay. I was trying to I kind of joke with the clients. I say, hey, I'm your financial, advisor. I can save you money. Still water it, but just water it less. And Steve Kolongowski, like we were talking about this on the phone the other day. You water it at like 4 a.m. You can water at 4 a.m. for like 15 minutes, but then you were talking about how some people need to water more to work it up back to the green, and then they can dial it back.
Right. Yeah, and that, get it green, dial it back, and then, rather than kind of 2 minutes, they add 3 minutes. That's just do it and then get yourself up. There's in Commerce, one of the where we did those aerations over there in Commerce, they pay for their water there, but in some areas of Commerce they don't. It just kind of depends where you're at. But I did find out from one of my clients that if you water like 4 a.m., it's cheaper. The water is cheaper than watering at 10 a.m. So one of my
Is it
clients,
really?
he does all his watering first thing, which he's supposed to do anyway. But he
Uh,
set his sprinklers to go off early in the morning, and then the neighbor behind him doesn't. He doesn't do that, so he rarely waters. I'm going, man, you got to water here a little bit. So,
you have
but
that
I've been
client
cutting
that
them
waters
high.
like ASAP after you're done mowing. Like I had this one guy, he'll like water ASAP. I'm like, you don't have to start dousing it with, at least wait till I leave. Tick me off when I'm like not there. Some are like trigger happy with that. This another guy that I have in a different neighborhood. Uh, he's conservative, which is good, but he's on the board there. They have like a like it's like neighborhood board. They enforce some of these neighborhood association boards. Some of these neighborhoods guys that have the associations, Greg, they're like the swamp. DC, like you can't have a shed in like the side or the back of your yard. It's the most bizarre thing. Well, anyways, his lawn, he's got this like 2 foot strip in the front that I just kind of straddle the multi-force over, cut on 425. That's always like 10 inches every week that I come and I butcher it down.
Hmm.
I'm getting frustrated. And then you shoot grass all over the road. What I do is I blow it all down to the neighbor's grass. I just put it on there. Like his setup is just bizarre.
Yeah. Well, that's that new client I just picked up. They've got this strip that's probably about 5 feet wide. I think I'll be able to get but it's new sod, so I don't want to bring my mower on it yet. And there's nowhere for me to put the grass because it's
Oh
all they
boy.
have is a 5 foot strip, and it's going to be that's the one I have to rake it right now. I'm using my trimmer on it, and then I'm raking it. So baby lawns, yeah.
Baby lawns.
But you know what I did today? I forgot to rake it. I'm at my next lawn, and I'm mowing along. All of a sudden, so I had to go back and finish the lawn. I forgot to rake it up.
That's that would be kind of annoying. I mean, I have kind of another annoying side story. I think we talked about this. Young couple, they moved into this house. They ripped out a garden bed and then they installed sod, Greg. But it's like the sod's like 3 or 4 inches taller than their other grass. I'm like, who did this sod? Like it's growing fine, but who did it? It's like you didn't even try to match up the sod. Like dig it low. Like have it at least be like an inch or two close. So this whole section, I have to pull the deck up and then mow around it. I should probably slowly, now that it's established, just start to just scalp it down to 325, and then it should take. I think it'll
Mm, yeah,
eventually just kind
if
of.
it's higher than the rest, that's going to be hard. So you'll just have a like a mound or something. But yeah, that's why I tell my clients. They say, "Well, we're going to put some sod down right here." I said, "No, throw seed down."
Yeah.
And I said, "Don't mess around with sod because now you gotta bring it down below, and you're not going to get it right." I said, "I know what I'm doing, and I can't get it right." So,
Yeah,
um,
I mean, it's not rocket science. They have sod tools to remove the grass, but then you have to level it. But you are the expert, Greg, with planting seed. I'm still, we're still raving about that one mulch job we did for you. And then we put down just topsoil bags from Menards, saved some money there. And you just
mhm.
put down I mean, you gave it a liberal pouring of seed on it. And that area came in really nicely.
Yeah, don't cheap with the seed. I know seed's kind of expensive, but just put it down, and that way you don't have to go back and that's where you lose money when you have to go back. And just like today when I had to go back and rake. But if you put seed down and you say okay that's enough, and then when you're going to have patches, you're going to have spots where it didn't come up, and you're going to have to go back and reseed, and then you gotta scuff it up and get the seed in there, and then if you're gonna depending on how much you're going to need, you're going to have to put straw down. Just do it right the first time. Just overseed it, and then you'll be happy. So
Yeah, because
that's
I was
just the
just
way I do it.
plopping those topsoil bags down while you were cleaning up the side there. I said, Greg, do you want to like this? And then you took like a rake on it and you made it look really just nice and kind of level there. And you just went haywire there in the scene. That was smart. And now it's built up. It's built up proper turf.
Yeah, it looks really good. And then that's the seed we're going to use on the rest of their lawn in the fall. And what I want to try and do is aerate. Their sprinklers just went down on them. I felt bad for them. And
Do you know why?
they're just having, I don't know what happened, but they said we were just putting in new sprinklers. They're just redoing it. So, um,
Make sure they dig them deeper So they're like 8 to 12 inches, not not,
Yeah,
not
make
3
sure.
inches, right?
3 inches. So I
Oh,
didn't even
like
think
tell
about
them
that.
that.
They were putting them in today. No, no, they're putting them in tomorrow. Actually, I
You
need
just
to
get
reach
like a
out to
ditch
her.
witch, and a trencher, right? And you just plop them in there. You have your
I
box for your
I
valves, right?
kind of hope so, but
Yeah.
I think there's got to be something better than a ditch witch because ditch witch get pretty messy. I don't know.
Or
Maybe
is it a trencher? Cameron
uh
might know. I
yeah,
don't
I was
know
just
if
gonna
it,
say Cameron
I don't
might.
know if Cameron really mows any irrigated lawns. They're all just giant fields. But Cameron's probably been there and done that. He's probably like, yeah, I installed a sprinkler system 20 years ago. He'll
Yeah.
he'll pull out something like that. He's probably
Um,
driving home right now because I think in Missouri, Greg, do you think it stays out lighter or stays
well, it
light
depends.
out
They're
later?
Central Time,
Yeah, so he's an
so
hour
it depends
behind.
where he is in Missouri.
Yeah,
But like in Michigan, if you're up in if you're in Grand Rapids, Traverse City, if you're on the west side,
or
it's
UP.
lot later there, uh, because they're closer to the Eastern time or the Central Time zone. So they get, we get dark at, for example, 9:30. They're getting dark at 10. So it's just because.
Yeah, my buddy who lives out in Munising, they were golfing sent me a picture. It was a while ago. It was like 9:30. It's still like really bright out.
Hmm.
I'm like, holy smokes!
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's
hey, we're losing daylight now, though. I checked the sunset now. Greg is like 8:57.
yeah. Well, what is it? June 20th or June 21st? Longest day of the year.
Now every day gets shorter, and guess what that means? The Equip Expo and fall cleanups. But then sadly, that can transition into removing snow, which we already talked about that. Don't want to do that, but
Yeah.
and
But speaking
Expo,
of Equip Expo, guess what? 50% off if you do the Turf Nerds promo code. So don't forget about that.
oh, you were slick with that one. But
Yeah.
no, like all in all, like I'm really looking forward to the show. I was talking to Cameron about it. Not many irrigated lawns here. So I was talking to Cameron about it. They had a Segway booth there because remember when Phil, he had some sort of deal with Segway there. They have and I'm gonna see if I can get my 9-bot S2 in there with a trimmer and be like, hey guys, I'm using your product and I reached out to you guys and you thought it was an intriguing idea, but then you said you didn't have a sample. So thanks, but no thanks.
And they were there last year?
I think, yeah. Phil said he was doing something with Segway. I thought really Segway only just dealt with like scooters and stuff. I must have been some other different battery part. I don't think they have a mower. I don't think this is a Segway mower.
No,
Shows you
not
how much
anymore.
I pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I tell you what, I was pleased, just going back to the mower, that 52-inch deck.
Yeah.
It cleaned up a lot easier than my 61, but that rain just killed me. I couldn't believe I couldn't believe how much grass I was clumping up. So it was kind of a pain. And what I did was I scraped it a little bit, and then I got my blower and stuck it under there, and it just blew it out. So hopefully I cleaned it up a little bit.
As we wrap up here in a minute, the question we can pose and ask you guys is: how do you keep your mower deck squeaky clean and shiny? I think the best way to do it is just it's scrape every 8 to 10 lawns. I've had success with fluid film and WD-40 under there if you spray it like a lot. It's got to be like a liberal amount of that, and that seems to work because Raleigh Spencer had an interview with the Corey Ballard, and Corey said they were trying to come up with something to spray underneath the deck where you didn't have to scrape all that often, but I think that's just inevitable. Part of me blames like the treated lawns that are really sprayed, like fertilized. I think that the fertilizer cakes underneath there too. Like it's like from the grass, it's just like a paint and it just cakes up in there. That's why the grass sticks so much.
I don't know.
They're a Segway
Be careful
Navamo.
with WD-40. I've heard that that's not good for your grass. So
Nothing look brown to me. I've sprayed it underneath there big time. That never browned out a lawn. You know what, the guys that I noticed who brown out lawns are the FERT guys. Like they put their flags down and they go around in their horrible stripes, Greg, and then you come back the next week and you can see their burn marks of where they were.
yeah. So that's a problem sometimes. But hopefully, we can do what we're supposed to do, and then they do what they do, and we can kind of blend together. But a lot of times we get blamed. I saw a post on something where the fertilizer guy was telling the client that they were that their lawn guy was cutting too low, and I commented and said I had a fertilizer guy tell my client I was cutting too high, and the client comes out and says, hey, you know what? I just got this note from my fertilizer guy, and it was her first lawn. She never really had a lawn before, and she said my fertilizer guy says you're cutting too high, and I just said look up, and she's looking around, and I said what do you see? She said I don't see anything. I said it's right. You don't have any trees. You're not
Yep.
watering enough, and if I cut you too low, your lawn's going to burn out. So so that's why I'm cutting you higher, because your lawn will burn out if I don't. So
Well,
and
high
she
grass is healthy.
yeah,
Greg?
and she quit listening to her fertilizer guy. Yeah, high grass is healthy, and cut her 3.5 to 4 inches. You get a better root system, keep your moisture in as well, and so I'm a big
On that note,
proponent.
I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed and would leave you
Yeah.
with this beautiful sound.